The ancient Essenes remind us so eloquently of our relationship with this earth. From their perspective, our bodies are living entities unto themselves, composed through the union, the holy and sacred marriage of the elements of this earth with the spirit that has come to inhabit the body. In the ancient texts, in the Essene text, they reference these elements as angels, today what we would call electromagnetic forces. And they speak to us very clearly of the angels of the air that carry the breath of life into every cell in our bodies. The angels of the water that carries life, pulsing, coursing through the veins of our bodies. The angel of the sun that brings the codes of life into our bodies, and the angels of the earth. The angels of the earth, when you touch the mud, when you pick up a hand full of gravel, and young children feel so comfortable doing this, this is us. This is what we're made of. As we come to terms with our relationship with the earth and these elements, we fully embody the indigenous traditions and the ancient ideas of what it means to be compassion, laying the foundation for those relationships in our lives. Compassion as a quality of thought, feeling, and emotion. Well, there's an interesting passage that I found, and I share many of these things through the Essene traditions, and there are certainly other traditions that have been part of this. As I was going through some Egyptian texts attributed to the Egyptian master Thoth. Thoth was reported to be the oldest Egyptian master. He lived for thousands of years continuously, if we're to believe those texts, into a later lifetime where he became Hermes. It was one and the same, and he anchored the wisdom of sacred science and ancient technology. Well, I'll share with you from this text the words of Thoth. And in these words, I believe you'll see an ancient reference to a technology, and that's the technology we're beginning today. Look what Thoth has to say. He says, "When into thee there comes a feeling that draws thee nearer to the dark gate, examine thine heart to know if the feeling thou hast has come from within." Now listen to this. "Send through the body a wave of vibration, irregular at first, regular at second, repeating time after time until free. Start the wave force in thy brain center, direct in waves from thine head to thy foot." I believe that wave force is the same wave force that was referenced later through the technology of the Essene traditions that we call compassion. So now we can look at it from a different perspective. Now compassion as thought, feeling, and emotion, the union of the thought and the emotion creates the feeling. That's the wave force that we send through our bodies that allow us to respond to life in a new, life-affirming, powerful, healthy way. And they didn't stop there. They went on and illustrated for us how to do this. What I've done is I've gone through many texts, primarily Aramaic in nature from the Essenes, through many translations. Some were Tibetan, some were Ethiopian, some were Egyptian from the Coptics, some were Greek, and some are just now being translated from the Aramaic into English. What I'm going to share with you, I've never seen compiled nicely and neatly in one place, although it would be nice. And I see it referenced, it's scattered throughout the text. So I've pulled them together for you in the 20th century idiom so that we may access this quickly and apply it in our lives. Using our thoughts from our left and right brain, driven through our emotions, our ability to resolve our feeling world. When you shift thought, feeling, and emotion, you're shifting your belief systems. Your ability to do that, that's you repatterning the codes in your body that determine how you see your world. Well, the Essenes said, here's how you do it. We will leave you the equations. Rather than number and variable, they're logic and emotion. We'll leave you the equations as you resolve your feeling world about these equations. That's you repatterning the code. Or another way to say this is that through your directional system of your thoughts and the power system of your emotions, that union is you repatterning your code. So they left us this equation, and it goes like this. If these things happen, then you become compassion. If you acknowledge, trust, and believe in specific tenets that they offer. If we do not acknowledge, trust, and believe, then we've just defined our own path of exploration. This is the beauty of the Essene texts. They empower us to find our own way as we walk between the worlds of heaven and earth. So many times we finish a workshop and people say, now that was really a great workshop. What do you recommend that I do next? Whose workshop should I take next? Or what book should I read? And while those are all valid paths, the beauty of the Essene path is that where you have problems with what they offered, that is your path to reconcile that. You've defined your own path. Our life is the meditation. Life is the prayer. Life is our offering. And this is how we're asked to accommodate life as it's shown to us. Okay, so these are the tenets. I'll begin with the first one. If you acknowledge that there's a single source of all that is or may ever be, and that every life event, without exception, is part of that source. And we spoke of this a little bit earlier. Do you believe that there is a single source of all that you will ever witness in your world as your life? Or do you believe that there is a source of some things and there is another source for other things and another source for other things? Your life will mirror that belief. Your life and your relationships will mirror how you feel about this belief. Now, it's easy to say, oh yeah, I believe there's a single source of all that is. I believe that. And then when something happens that challenges your belief systems, I've seen this happen with individuals, they say, well, that's not part of the source. That's not part of the same source. That's something different. That's an exception. If this holds true, if there is a single source, then it is just that. It's the source of all that we may know. If you trust in the process of life as it's shown to you, in divine timing with no accidents, do you trust in the process of life? You must come to terms with this. In the process of life, does life feel safe to you? If you believe that each and every experience drawn to you without exception, there can be no exceptions, is your opportunity to demonstrate your mastery of life. What if we view life as opportunities to demonstrate mastery rather than tests that may be failed or passed? Big difference. Your body responds to that feeling. It feels very, very different to know that when life offers you a task or a challenge, and you know that you have done the best that you are capable of doing in that moment, and that's all there is. You didn't succeed, you didn't fail. You simply had that experience, and that was your opportunity to demonstrate mastery. I'll invite you to allow for that possibility. Life becomes much easier if you allow for the possibility that you are not being tested in each opportunity.